Hi Aries, and welcome to your tarot reading from the 15th to the 31st of July. So I have done a collective reading. It's on my channel, and then we talk about what's going on the wider scope of things. It's the only way I can get personal readings for people. Everyone's readings have been very, very complex, Aries, to tell you the truth. So it's just what's going on. All the planets are in retrograde. Your Lenormand card is the male card, the man. If you look clearly, he's got the Mars symbol on his necklace. Mars is in Aries, so you've got it for the whole year. So there's going to be a real push for you to move forward. Yeah. It'll be a backwards and forwards energy, but you're going to be really, really pushed as a pioneer. What this world needs at the moment is pioneers of a new way of being, okay? So the male can represent a relationship that's going on for some of you. I'm assuming when I throw the cards, they're going to clarify what this is about. So it'll be 6 cards. I sort of made a mistake because the situations are too confusing for 6 cards, but I'm just having to do my best. There's a lot of demand at the moment for readings, so I'm trying to juggle, okay? So 6 cards for the sign of Aries. Please give them as much clarity to guide their journey ahead. Ooh, hold on. So, behind you is the Empress, Taurus, the home, the heart, looking after yourself, which is wonderful. It's about love. The gift is the Hanging Man. The challenge is the Wheel. God, you've got all major arcanas, which means there's something very, very big happening. Your relationships is the 3 of Swords, and I wonder if that's what the man is about. Now, this is not your energy, this is the people around you, which means the people around you might be dealing with something challenging, okay? Underneath the Hanging Man is the 5 of Swords, okay? I think you've already got someone in your life who's having a bit of a life challenge here by the looks of it. It could be, and then the King of Swords is the outcome. It can be an air sign, or it can be about being, moving the energies up, being the observer, being a little bit detached from what's going on, so not being reactive, okay? Being the peacemaker, because the King of Swords is looking right at these cards. It might be the case. So what are the people dealing with? What's the 3 of Swords about for Aries? What are people dealing with? The 3 of Swords. Because this looks like where your challenge is here. Okay, it's with the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is a card of reconnection. It's about childhood memories. It tends to be a soulmate card, by the way. It's definitely about love. But this person might, someone in your life might be going through some sort of heartache here, Aries. Yeah. Which would be a very, very good idea. Maybe you've been the Empress and about offering support, offering care, offering the stability to whatever this person's going through. It could be anything with the 3 of Swords. It could be a bereavement, it could be ill health, but they're definitely going through something connected with the 6 of Cups. But let me just carry on. The gift is the Hanging Man. It's a really, really beautiful gift, the Hanging Man, because it means that we're trying to let go of control, okay? So what they say, the best way to end someone else's suffering is to work on our own. So when we work on our own, we're not being reactive to what they're going through. So that's how we can offer them support, we can offer them presence. And because the outcome is the King of Swords is the observer. He's non-reactive. So he allows people to go through what they're going through without being present with them, with the Empress and the Hanging Man, but not getting overly... You know, when you get pulled into people's dramas, there's an old saying that we become that. So these sort of cards with the Hanging Man and the King of Swords is about allowing people to have their processes, allowing them to have whatever they're going through. Because this might be, so people in your life, the Six of Cups is about reuniting. It doesn't have to be with a person. It can be with your joy. Yeah, hitting the sweet spot. So maybe you're dealing with someone who's been going through something, but this is them coming back to themselves, coming back to their sense of that life can be good, but they've been through maybe some sort of bereavement or something, some sort of heartache. With the gift of the Hanging Man, tell me why the Hanging Man's the gift. It's like you can be there for them without saying, you can just be there for them, basically. One card, why the Hanging Man is the gift. Okay, so you get the Seven of Swords. You're definitely dealing with someone, a relationship. This is maybe what the man's about, who's going through something here. Maybe they're having to leave one situation to begin a new one. Maybe they're in a bereavement, something that's been causing them great difficulty. It's not quite complete yet because it's the Seven of Swords, but how you can live as happy as possible, Aries. And I'm not being a bypasser, by the way, but when other people are struggling in our lives, we need to try as much as possible to be a sort of an anchor. And then it's hoped eventually they begin to resonate with where we're at, rather than us going to a bad place with them. Because it seems that you're dealing with something that's not fully completed yet. So some of you are dealing with a relationship here. Because the challenge of the Wheel of Fortune is dealing with a clock. So a clock is dealing with time. And the Seven of Swords with the Hanging Man is the gift, is knowing that everything's not fully reached its conclusion yet, but trying to be at peace with that. Everyone's readings have been confusing. I don't think anyone got an ending card. It's almost like what's going on for the rest of the month is maybe what's been going on for quite a little while. And with all the retrograde energy, not anything's reaching its finale yet. And you're no exception here. Now, the outcome of the King of Swords, I think this is about you. Yeah, look, you got the King and the Queen of Swords. Either that or you're dealing with an air sign, or this is two people and they're at peace with each other. So they're not in a state of conflict. They're both coming from their higher mind, because we go into a reactive state when something happens in the external world that, triggers our inner world, and all hell breaks out. To be that higher Aries is really, really, really to not react from that stuff, but to take a step back, to be the observer and to allow the process to complete itself with the Hanging Man and the Seven of Swords, because everything always completes itself. Everything. And sometimes the trick is to take a step back and allow this completion to happen. So the Five of Swords, what's the Five of Swords about? It's about a Ten of Cups situation, and the Three of Swords is there. So for some of you, this is to do with the heart. It's to do with conclusion. It's to do with the home. The Ten of Cups is a rainbow after a storm, okay? Now, I don't think that you've fully got to the conclusion of what's going on for you, Aries. Now, please don't, well, there's no point. I'm just a bringer of a message. But every single person's reading has been pretty much the same. That there's a process going on. I think it's coming from other people. Other people are going through something, which is a little bit of a challenge for you. But the gift of the Hanging Man and the King and Queen of Swords is literally to rise above it. So when we rise above it, we're just not triggered by what's going on, which really what happens then is we're growing in our mindfulness, we're growing in our awareness, we're becoming emotionally sober, emotionally serene, we're growing into the greatest version of what we can be as human beings. I mean, on a global level, that's exactly what we're all going to be going through. Yeah. So the collective reading might make more sense to you. But when we all learn to not react, but respond in a very peaceful way, is when, as an individual, we begin to change. Our families and our relationships become peaceful. And when that happens on the individual, it happens in the unit, and then it spreads out into the world. And I'm an incredibly optimistic human being, as you can tell. But it's going to start with people like me and you learning to react differently to what's going on around us. Your challenge is dealing with time. Let me clarify the challenge. What's the challenge for Aries? The Wheel of Fortune is a clock. That's it. Nothing happens unless it's time to happen. Nothing. Absolutely not one single thing happens until the planetary, it's astrology basically. And when something's not ready to happen, we can fight, we can struggle, and we have so much pain. Or we can be this beautiful gift of the Hanging Man and go, yeah, it's the serenity prayer. Let me accept what I cannot change and give me the courage to change what I can, which is my response to this situation. One more card for Aries, please, because they seem to be having a little bit of a challenge. And I wouldn't say challenging time because they're minor arcanas. So the minor arcanas are the ups and downs of everyday life, which no one can avoid. So it's not like, yeah, it's not huge spiritual lessons. It's just it seems to be a daily dynamic with a cycle. I think it's coming from someone else. That's maybe someone else's dynamics triggering your dynamic. And you're being called to be the bigger person here. And King, Queen of Swords. You don't get the crowns by the birth line that you're born into in the tarot. You get it by changing that neuroplasticity, the way that we respond, changing from the inside out. Okay, Aries, I'll be back doing August reading. And that's it. Wonderful. I mean, I sort of want to pull another card for you because I feel you deserve it. And yeah, peace. Four of Swords. Take a step back. Rest. Recuperate. Rebuild your energy. And things, especially other people's energy, it'll exhaust itself. And things exhaust themselves quicker if we are a pillar, rather than this tennis game of reacting to each other. Okay, Aries, I'll speak to you later. Bye.